What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Bear Show after a long hiatus, I guess. But yeah, you see me everywhere, especially Sunday. Sunday, we were out in Forest Park, excuse me, out at Casa Humilde Brewery for the game. And what a game it was! It was a lot of up and down emotions, as the Bears like to do to us. It seems every freaking week here. But nonetheless, a victory is a victory, and I'll take it. But there are things that concern me. But before we get started, let's go ahead, like, share, and subscribe. Become a patron today at www.thetapeneverlies.com. And if you were expecting Big Steve will not be on tonight, obviously. I'm filling in, but he will be on tomorrow. I believe 8:30 Central Time, I believe. I'll have to double check, but he will be on tomorrow night. So be on the lookout for the Bear Down with Big Steve. But let's go ahead and dive into it. The Bears' big victory against the New York Football Giants. And quite honestly, for about 3.5 quarters, again, the Bears had me doubting everything that they were doing. Operation wise, play calling wise, defense for sure. But in particular, the way that they came out, obviously DeAndre Swift is a big part of the offense, but I felt like with the emergence of Kyle Monungai, maybe leaning on him a little more would have fared better for you in my eyes. I know Shayne mentioned that he might have been a little dinged up, but if he wasn't, and the game plan was to use Swift heavy, I still didn't like it because you were running formations out of shotgun when I felt like you should have been under center, when under center was working for you the past few weeks. It's just to me, you got to go with the hot hand. I felt like the hot hand was Monungai. Now, if he was hurt, that's different. But I don't see. I mean, I didn't hear anything that he was banged up. You know, that what was the only person that didn't make it out was Hippolyte, Ruben Hippolyte, the special teams ace that we had to have. But again, there was certain play calls which I felt like, all right, Monungai's in the game. Oh no, it's not Monungai. It's here's DeAndre Swift. Third, in particular, that 3rd-and-1 where they ran, I believe it was a toss. It might have been a stretch play, but like either way, you had Monungai going wide with speed edges, and they were stacking the box on 3rd-and-1. Like, you had guys up at the line, and you had 2 corners making the play, which again, to me, it should have been Monungai's call. 3rd-and-1, bring in the battering ram. Let's go ahead and break their will. And there wasn't that. It was frustrating because I felt like we got too cute. I felt like there was a certain point where I think Ben was trying, and he had mentioned as such, and we were talking about how this is probably his worst play calling game that I've seen so far. And that doesn't mean that we're out on Ben Johnson, but first year head coaches also have growing pains as well. So as long as this gets corrected, which I believe it will, I think the Bears will be on the right track. But again, like, you got away from your identity, what was working, right? You're running people over, you're pushing defensive lines, back, and you did a great job pass protecting. Honestly, I wouldn't say a great job. I think Caleb did a way better job at evading the pass rush and those vaunted D ends that they have over there in New York. But I wanted to see them run these fuckers over. You know what I'm saying? Like, where there wasn't any, where there was little energy left in the game on the opposite side of the ball, and it just, again, you didn't see that. Now, these are the correctable things, right? These are the things that can obviously be adjusted and fixed. So I'll try to go one for one, good and bad, instead of just being all gloom and doom and then pop up with something positive at the end. Uh, I thought Rome reacted to certain, in particular myself, uh, uh, people calling him out for the drops. He had a hell of a game. I mean, he made some catches. He dropped one. One in particular was that ball late in the game, uh, down the sidelines, and is it catchable? Yes. Maybe he got grabbed. I got to go back and watch the tape. Maybe he got held back a little bit. He was about a foot off. I didn't see the entire play on the all 22 yet, so forgive me. But I felt like a step off. You still got your hands on the ball. Again, I will divert back to, you're a top 10 pick. You should be making these catches. You should be, and it shouldn't be like, oh, well, just give Rome a break. No, no, no. Nobody's giving Caleb a break. Nobody's giving Caleb a break. And a lot of these other guys, a lot of these rookies, and a lot of these younger players, I feel, and I'm not saying that they do it, purposely, but I feel have been hidden or pushed to the wayside because of the, you know, uh, the force, and I guess the constant need to validate Caleb Williams as a number one pick amongst everybody, media, fans, whatever. But with Rome, again, he great player. You want him on the team. You could see the talent. You see him growing as well. But those are something that still needs to be cleaned up, right? And that's everywhere. Zacchaeus, my God, like Zacchaeus should have had himself a game, but he couldn't hold on to the football. And it wasn't just one or two. I mean, you had, I mean, you could call it a drop. I think it was a very tough play that DJ had to make. I mean, awesome throw by Caleb, but the one in the end zone uh, that DJ couldn't haul in, I felt like it's a tough play. It could go either way, and it didn't go our way that time. But you gave your wide receiver a chance. But let's see. Let's see if Rome, takes this and takes that challenge, because that's pretty much what it is. It's my criticisms are always, hey, prove me wrong. It's always a challenge. Like, I don't go ahead and over criticize, or you know, I try to be as fair as I can, with these players, especially the younger ones. But you got to call a spade at a certain point, and then there's been big drops, and young player, these things can be fixed. But Rome yesterday was solid. I thought Rome did well in response to the criticism. And yeah, he had himself a nice day. He was there, he got him a touchdown, big plays when he found himself open. So good for Rome. Going back to bad. Going back to bad. Let's go ahead and talk about the defense and the inability to identify Jackson Dart's ability to run the football. Like, I mean, that was killing you. Literally, those were back-breaking plays. Third and 11, or third and long, second and long. Here's Jackson Dart running for 15 fucking yards. That cannot be. And you want to say, or maybe you could add, once people get healthy, maybe you could add and things get a little bit better. But this has been an issue, a constant issue. A constant issue. It was an issue in the Ravens game. It's been an issue with more mobile quarterbacks. Even Jaden Daniels, once he broke the pocket, he was getting yards that probably, if he gets stopped maybe one or two times a game, is a lot different. Who knows? But all I know is these mobile quarterbacks can eat you up, eat this defense up in particular. Now, thank God Russell came in. I mean, unfortunately for Jackson Dart, kid was playing fantastic. He's kicking our ass. But unfortunately for him, he got a concussion, which led to the. I mean, it didn't lead to the fumble, but he fumbled the ball, which led to the concussion. Bears recover, and the game flipped there. But again, this defense relies heavy on the turnover, and I'm happy for it. I'd rather be lucky than good sometimes, and I guess this defense is way more lucky than good. That's my assessment of it to this point in the season. It's just we're way more lucky than we are good, but there are players that Montez Sweat is taking a step. There's some players that are showing me some signs of, hey, maybe this thing can be sustainable to make hopefully a wild card run here. We're 6-3. We're in the hunt. I think we're in the 7th spot. But again, when you get to these better teams, right? When you find yourself in these late close games, that's something that can bite you in the ass. And it scared me in the Washington game, scared me even with Tyler Huntley in the Ravens game. And then once they started utilizing it, it scared the living crap out of me on Sunday. Because if Jackson Dart stood in there, it was my belief that Giants team could have beat the Bears. Would have beat the Bears. I'll say that. I'd go as far as that. Would have beat the Bears. Because they had no answer. They had no answer for that. Those QB powers, those QB boots, just no answer. Wide open lanes. We'll just run, Jackson, and get down. That's honestly, that's Jackson's. I feel like Jackson is a little too headstrong when it comes to the running. You got to get down at a certain point, man. You gotta learn when to hold them, learn when to fold them. And unfortunately, he had to find out the hard way, and so did their head coach Brian Daboll for running him. I feel like that's exactly, other than the, I mean, yeah, the 30, the multiple games blown in the fourth quarter, that had a lot to do with it. But I feel like the handling of Jackson Dart in the past few weeks, especially with all the concussions checks that he's gotten, it was criminal. It was fucking criminal. You were putting this kid's career on the fucking line to save your fucking job as a shitty fucking coach. That's what it was. That's what it was. And unfortunately for Jackson Dart, he took the wrong end of a play, man, and it sucks. Hopefully he gets back. He looks like he's going to be a fantastic player. But back to the Bears. If we find, I got to look at the schedule. I mean, you could get beat by Jordan Love. If Jordan Love could get out of the pocket, he could do shit like that. You know what I'm saying? If there's no contain, and I thought it'd be a lot better. I thought they would expect them to utilize Jackson Dart that way on defense, but it just seems like they had no clue how to stop. They didn't even, it felt like they didn't even know they ran him like that. So I gotta be better on defense some way, somehow. Hopefully we get healthier, and that's part of it, but again, I think this defense at a certain point in the season, with the offense ascending, I feel like this defense is still held back by lack of depth and lack of blue chip power, right? Blue chip star power. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of weapons on offense. You got to figure out a way to draft and sign players on defense that make impacts, not fucking guys you're taking shots on. Like what's I can't forget his fucking name. The guy that's injured, is it? No, that's Ababaminga is the linebacker. The other one, Deo. Like you're taking shots on these long. You're taking big shots on these long shots, and I get you overpaying free agency, but it just doesn't seem like Ryan Poles or the scouts that he's hired have have given us any hope that they could find or identify players that could make that kind of an impact. It's just what it is, right? Through free agency, through the draft, defense is taking just a backseat to it all. And yeah, Jalen Johnson's a huge loss. I understand Kyler Gordon, but Kyler Gordon seems to be hurt fucking every week. He seems to be hurt. It doesn't seem like he ever can be healthy for half a season, let alone a full season. So, what do we have there? We already seen Jaquan Brisker and what he's dealt with. So there needs to be a focus, a real focus on adding players to this defense that can help not only, shut down better offenses, but put away teams like the New York Giants, put away teams like the New Orleans Saints, be able to stop backup quarterbacks like in the Baltimore Ravens when they played us with Tyler Huntley. Be able to stop a first-year quarterback in the fourth quarter before he puts up 21 points on you on Monday night. That's my dream. That's my dream moving forward. And yeah, the offensive line, no doubt. Offensive line, no doubt. You got to add. Hopefully you could find somebody that can make an immediate impact. Right? You did with your right tackle, who seems to be playing at an all-pro fucking level, in Darnell Wright. If you didn't see what he did to Brian Burns, go ahead and check it out. Brian Burns got one hand slammed. It was just it was like watching like a sumo wrestler slap down like a little kid, like a skinny 13-year-old kid. Just get your ass down. Like, what are you doing? It's great stuff, I write. But again, the offensive line could use some improvement, even though they've been great this year. Great. Do I say great, or they've been good? They've been good. Are they perfect? Hell no. But they've been good. Better than I thought it was going to turn out. But going back to the defense, it's got to be the focus. I feel like this offseason, if your offense continues to ascend like this, and you feel comfortable with a lot of the guys that you have over there, and you add a few pieces, like I said, offensive line, I think we are, I wouldn't say set, but we're closer to being set than we are on the defensive side, which needs, I feel like, a facelift. I really do. I feel like the defense needs maybe not a total flip, but there needs to be a lot of exchange going on in the offseason. Depth wise, starter wise, all around, that defense needs to be cleaned out or cleaned up, but however you want to take it. Let's jump over to and let's go ahead and see if there's any score in this fucking Packer Eagle game. Doesn't look like this wants to load for me. Give me 1 second. No, you don't want to load. All right. Well, anyway. Oh, it's 0-0 still. Here we go. Halftime, 0-0. And I guess a dogfight, or I don't know. I couldn't tell you because, ESPN and YouTube TV can't seem to fucking get it right. So maybe they'll ask me to join another fucking streaming service to watch sports. But I digress. Let's take a look at some of these stats, and then we'll go ahead and talk to Ben Johnson. Like I said, we'll add another good here. Trying to bounce back between the good and the bad. from yesterday's game. If I could find a damn box score. What is going on here? What is this? Give me 1 second. What the fuck? Okay, here we go. There we are. There we go. All right, so like I said, DeAndre Swift, 13 carries, 80 yards. Caleb Williams has started or has made the conscious effort on when I see green, I take green, and that is elevating his game. I feel like to another level because now not only do those defenders that are coming up worry about your legs, they also have to worry about your arm too. So it's almost as if like if Caleb breaks the pocket and gets to the outside, and let's say he has a one-on-one, he can force either way. He could, if he pump fakes, he could get that guy up, maybe force him to jump, go right around him. If the guy pressures and he goes in and says, "Hey, I'm going to go all out," then Caleb could either throw it away or take a shot at somebody that's hopefully open downfield. But it's been a pleasant sight to see Caleb Williams go ahead and instead of being indecisive, instead of trying to force, and there's still times where he does force. He's taking those easy 15, 10, 50 first downs with his legs. You saw him on the, was it 29 yard run? 29, yeah, long of 29 yard run before the touchdown. And I thought he was going to get it there on that one as well. If he didn't, I feel like he stunned. Maybe the turf monster got him a little bit. But I thought he was going to score there too. But Caleb Williams finding a way, evading pressure, constantly. It seemed like it was something to see. It was artful in a way, right? Because Caleb's just all these great pass rushers just can't seem to fucking get their hands on him, and when they do, they can't seem to bring him down. So again, is it something I want to see? Caleb having to dodge and duck and dip, dive and dodge all these pass rushers that are coming free, or these blitzers that are coming free? No, but hell, like it's some entertaining shit. Like it really is. Like it's some Mahomes shit. Like let's be real. Like I'm not saying he's Pat. I'm just saying that's the type of shit a young Aaron Rodgers is doing, a Pat Mahomes is doing. Caleb Williams is doing it with his legs, with his ability to fake and twist and turn and stay strong and keep his feet and his balance. I'm loving it. I want to see more. What I want to see more of as well is Kyle Monungai, my guy Kyle Monungai, wasn't wasn't utilized enough. Again, if he was hurt, that's a different. Or if he got dinged up, that's a different story. But 7 carries, 28 yards, 4.0 average, and a touchdown. I don't know, man. 36 times Caleb having to pass, and I feel like again there were times where in that first half where I felt like okay, we're it feels like that Baltimore game where we're kind of straying away from our identity, and we're sitting in shotgun a lot more. Not like I mentioned before, not under center. Monungai's on the sideline. It's like, what did we forget here, or what was the game plan after last week going into this week, knowing that the Giants pass rush is great, and you still have your bugaboos with your pass protection, but Your run blocking has been phenomenal. So why not tie up some of these guys and I get you could the different it doesn't always have to be under center, but my preference is under center because it just seems like this offense operates a lot better when they are heavy under center. I feel like Caleb can maybe over process in shotgun at times, where it's like he sees the entire field but doesn't know or has to wait for his receivers, to get through the progression of the route. I don't know. I feel under center allows those receivers to get through the progressions a second, half a second faster to where Caleb, boom, you see it, and now you have to make the decision. Go ahead and bring this up. Roma Dunze. Oh, I mentioned Rome, 6 catches, 86 yards. They got the touchdown. Colson Loveland, another fact, a solid game, 4 catches, 55 yards. He had a long of 20 on 4 targets. So 4 targets, 4 catches. That's what I like to see. Rookie starting to come into his own. That's a plus. And I feel like the biggest question mark now that we've seen a game or a few games like this with some of these receivers, I feel like it's time we give Luther Burden more tick. I think Luther Burden over Alameda Zacchaeus, excuse me, this week is a thing. I don't think that, Zacchaeus being a veteran should have anything to fucking do with it. You're in a playoff hunt, boys. Wake up. You're there. It's 6-3. People want to say they've only beaten crap teams, but there's a lot of teams out there that have been struggling. A lot of teams out there that have not found answers for their problems as well. So again, I recognize the quality of the opponents, but you play who you play and you have to win the game. And the Bears have been beating these teams, unlike years past. I want to see Luther be more of. I would say this. I'll go ahead and jump. Luther, he was going to be my pick this week to pop, right? My guy that's gonna go ahead and do something here in his rookie year. I think Luther has shown that he not only can secure the football, but once he gets the ball, yards after catch, he's a strong dude. On that catch late yesterday, you saw that. 2 guys on him, you thought he was stopped. Luther isn't stopped. Luther was going forward. He was taking that cornerback as far as he could. And if he could take him into the end zone, I'm sure he would have. You're starting to see more comfortability, Luther being more comfortable in the offense. You're starting to see, an emerging player, I guess. I guess on special teams, a little less. I wanted to say an emerging player on special teams, but he doesn't really get much with Duvernay back there. And yeah, I know somebody said Duvernay's got to go. I'm with you. It's what's the point at this juncture? What's the point? Like he doesn't get in there as a receiver. Maybe he might have had 1 reception all season, something like that. Why? You have younger players that can go ahead and run the football or, run kick returns back, utilize them. Yeah, Burden does play angry. He does play angry. It's when Luther gets the ball, it seems like he takes it to another level. It seems like, and not to say that he, doesn't play hard if he doesn't get the ball. But it's once he gets that ball in his hands, you better bring him down because he could either run past you, and now that we're seeing a little bit more, he could run your ass over too. So you better be able to recognize where he's at and bring him down. Otherwise, Luther's going to be a problem. Luther's going to be a problem. But I want to see him next week. I want to see him next week. It's about time he gets some love as well. DJ Moore, no catches, 4 targets. You know, it was rough. He got hurt or banged up his shoulder, I believe. I think DJ will bounce back. I'm not too worried about DJ. Cole Kmet, 1 catch, 5 yards off 2 targets. And Kyle Monungai with that 1 target with the drop on that second drive. Good parts of the defense. You know, I'll do a double take on the good. CJ Gardner-Johnson has been playing his ass off since he got to Chicago. And I love it. I love it. Me and Big Steve were talking about it. The energy he brings. The guy was on the couch for a month. You know what I mean? At that point in your career, you're starting to worry if you're not getting a phone call. You know, I'm sure. But he gets the call, and he's stepping it. I don't think, even when we do get healthy, I don't think you could, move on from him. Right now, he's a vital part of your defense. He's been your best pass rusher, as Steve pointed out yesterday. He's been your best pass rusher since he's gotten here. 3 sacks in 2 games or something like that. Come on now. 9 total tackles yesterday, 7 solo, 2 sacks. CJ Gardner-Johnson got the game ball, and he deserved it. Playing his ass off. Love to see it. We need more dogs like that. I know he's got a checkered past. You know, it's whatever's been said has been said, and we all know about it. But the passion he plays with, the intensity he brings, that's that shit we need. We need players like that bring that. It's infectious. You see, when he made those sacks, people were going on. Like, the entire defense was popping when he got those 2 sacks. It's crazy to say that he was not playing football for a month, but maybe that month reset something, got the fire going again in CJ, and I'm happy for it. He's playing his ass off. Another guy playing his ass off, Tremaine Edmonds, 7 total tackles, 4 solo tackles, 1 tackle for a loss, 1 QB hit. He has been having one hell of a season, Tremaine Edmonds. And again, I don't know if it's the scheme, if he's just playing a little more free because of the coaching staff. I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, I'm glad he's figuring it out, because he is everywhere for the Chicago Bears, and it's a major part of our defense. I mean, his ability to cover, his range, his length, and then now you see him playing angry, running downhill. Like, he came in on a run blitz and just absolutely blew up the Giants running back. And it's something I don't think we saw all of last season. I don't believe we saw him moving like that, let alone blitzing like that last year at all. I don't remember it. I don't recall. And if I'm wrong, okay. But needless to say, it's not enough, because I whatever has clicked, and it's been great to see. And I hope that it continues. Unfortunately, Noah Sewell, on the other hand, was not so great. Noah Sewell, big missed tackle. Noah Sewell seems like he's constantly out of position in coverage. We've seen it multiple times. Players getting the ball right over the top of them, not getting enough depth. I feel like, and again, he's not a starter. TJ Edwards is your starter. Unfortunately, he had surgery on his hand. Hopefully, we could get him back at some point. But until then, Noah Sewell's going to be the guy, and you need to be able to step up. That missed tackle late in the game like that, that's no, sir. Not for me. I don't want that. That's not what I like. Needed to be wrapped and dragged down inbounds, and couldn't do it. And too many times I've seen that. The penalty I won't really put on him. I feel like it's a bang bang play. Like you're trying to stop him. Maybe he was shooting for his midsection, and suddenly he's going down, and boom, now you have his head. You take his head off. It is what it is. My concern is the coverage and the tackling. You cannot fucking let them off the hook like that. So Noah Sewell's got to be better. Another guy that I feel like had a bad day, Tyreek Stevenson in coverage. Too many times that I feel like Tyreek was just not on the same page with everybody else. Almost as if whatever they said in the defensive huddle, he heard the opposite, or he heard something completely different. That's what I got from it, because I have no explanation. I don't know if they have an explanation. It was frustrating because there was wide open players in Slayton, even the running backs, even some of the running backs that were wide open. That just felt like, where's this guy at right now? I know you've been a little dinged up this season, but it's no excuse for the lack of mental discipline, or understanding what the hell's going on from play to play. It was bad. It was flat out bad for a while. Luckily, they got it corrected somehow after the game, or after the half. But I'm tired of these, almost complete games, offensive and defensive wise, right? These, oh yeah, it was rough in the first half, but we got them in the second. And again, I'm happy with the wins, but I don't think we have yet to really see a complete game from both sides from all three phases. Let's say that. I mean, I forgot I have to mention the special teams. I wish I didn't have to mention them, but we have yet to see a complete game from all three phases. I feel like the defense plays 3.5 quarters almost every game. A lot of missed opportunities, I feel like, from them as well. I mean, even though they are taking the ball away, but as far as getting off the field and not allowing these big chunk plays. You're first in turnovers, and you're like fucking almost dead last, close to dead last in yards per game. That's not a winning recipe. And we all know it. And I've said it before. It's the defense this offseason should be retooled, revamped, whatever you want to call it. You need to put in different guys. You need to different guys at certain spots, right? You need to add, bring in different players, and you need to add depth, in particular at D line and at cornerback. I do believe they will try to either draft a safety late or maybe bring somebody in. Who knows? But defense needs to be a priority come this offseason. All right, let's go ahead and move this along. I'll go bring in Ben Johnson. We'll listen to that press conference, and then I will wrap things up. A look ahead at next week. And then I'm taking my ass to bed. But first, here is head coach of the Bears, Ben Johnson.
Yeah, it didn't feel too much different from watching the film today that I felt yesterday. Guys played hard there for 60 minutes. Can't find a way to win that one at the end. Number of things we can clean up, but was really happy with the intensity with which we played throughout that game. We rode the highs and the lows, and we handled that just
Jesus,
fine.
Corn.
So really excited to get our players back in the building
The
on
great
Wednesday and
Jack
get going into this
Sanborn.
next week. So I'll open it up from there.
Pat Finley.
Hey, Ben, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm good. I wanted to ask you about 2 fourth down throws. The first was the one at the end of the first drive there, into the end zone to DJ. And the other was the 4th and 3, I believe it was, on with about 9 minutes left. What's the coaching point?
Can you take me through the second one again? Who do we throw it to?
4th and 3, you guys are empty. Caleb kind of pirouettes left, winds up throwing it a little high and behind Swift. But it looked like you had Rome chipped and might have had a kind of a delayed crosser going the other way.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
Okay. Where's the ball ideally supposed to go in those 2 situations, and kind of how do you and Caleb navigate, his improvisational skills, which are great with you being the play caller, and if there's a play there to throw it.
Yeah, we talked about. We just watched the whole game together. He made a number of really, really good plays that we needed in the moment, and there's a handful of them that we talked about, and in hindsight, you might play them a little bit different. Same thing for me as a play caller. There's a number of calls that I probably want back. In those 2 particular instances, the first one, we felt like we had enough time to hang in the pocket and throw that ball to DJ without breaking contain. And it's a balancing act for him. He feels the pressure, and like I've been saying all along, he's got a natural ability to know when to escape and carry on. And that's not something that we want to take away from his game, but we are encouraging at times when we see it where we can hang in there and either get the throw down the field or check the ball down. So the one to DJ, we felt like there was some space over the top there that we might be able to throw him open into in the end zone. And then the second one is, if I remember it right, we had a number of crossers on that play, and I thought a couple guys popped. It's a play that we hit. He threw really well in practice. We felt good about, and it's probably another one that he felt like he felt the pressure, got out of it, but we could probably hang in there and deliver that ball down the field.
How do you think in general he handles the balance of kind of knowing when to hit that eject button and knowing when to hang in there?
It's a work in progress. I think the more comfortable he gets within the offense and the more trust he has in his pass catchers that they're going to be where they're supposed to be, that he'll continue to play within the rhythm and the timing of the concepts. And as we're continuing to grow and develop that trust, there will be times where he takes off and he runs with it. I mean, I thought what he did yesterday in terms of evading that rush, that's a rare quality for most quarterbacks, and I don't know many other in this league that could have done it to the extent that he did yesterday.
Courtney.
Hey, Ben, on that note, I know DJ Moore said after the game, he feels like Caleb, the last 2 weeks with what happened on that final drive in Cincinnati to get in position to hit Colston. And then yesterday with the 29-yard scramble and 17-yard run, like he said, he feels like he's got the green light now to use his legs more. Has there been maybe more of an emphasis, or has there been something that you're encouraging with Caleb to use his legs in those moments, whether it's evading the rush or just taking off and going into that Superman mode?
Well, we've been able to accumulate a number of reps now over the course of the season, and like I said, we sit down, we talk about every practice rep, every game rep, and so it's a different message depending on that particular rep. But something that we've been pretty consistent with, there's times that we do need to use our legs. I think it makes us a more dangerous offense overall. You can talk to Dennis Allen about it. I think nothing probably strikes fear in his heart a little bit than a quarterback that's able to take off, because you can have everything else accounted for, and you can feel pretty good about your pass rush, but yet if there's an open lane, which there tends to be when you have a 4-man or even a 5-man rush, the quarterback can still make you hurt with his feet. And so, yeah, it's something that we certainly want to utilize. It's not something that we want to necessarily feature each and every week, but when the opportunity presents itself, we have the ability to capitalize on it.
Fuck, you don't have to feature it. You know, just this offensive line almost forces it, or definitely forces it. He forces his hand sometimes, but again, I don't know if it's so much this regime that had him with that, constant, you gotta throw, you gotta throw, you gotta throw, you don't have to, I think it was both last year's offense and how Shane Waldron wanted him to play quarterback, and like the carryover from that. Like, you got to go be able to flush it. It's something that you got to wipe from your memory, or get rid of. And it seems like he's more decisive in taking all the yards that they're allowing him to take with his legs, and I'm happy about it. Again, I think it might have been them handcuffing him last season more than it is Ben Johnson and this offense handcuffing him this season. It was just something Caleb mentally, in my opinion, had to wipe. It was just, forget that shit. Take the yards. Let's move forward. Let's keep going.
And as far as that, like defensively, when you watched it back, did you think there were maybe more opportunities to spy Jackson Dart, or to have more of a plan to contain him?
Well, we knew he's a really good player to start with. I felt like he hurt us more on the quarterback designed runs as opposed to necessarily
kicking your ass on the quarterback design runs.
Him in the passing game. Now, I'm not taking anything away from him. He played a heck of a game for them and gave us some fits, but we felt like we could fit up some of those quarterback designed runs a little bit better and cleaner on our end. And I think that would make us feel a little bit better about that game as a whole.
Phil?
Hello, can you hear me?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, Ben. So a couple of questions for you. One, do you ever address the elephant in the room, that is the prospect of the playoffs, with the players, either as a carrot or just kind of relaying to them the stakes? And if you can answer that, I'll ask the next one after that.
We understand the urgency that's at hand. We know where we are in the NFC right now. But I think the biggest thing in the message to the team is we're a 6-3 team right now that's looking to get to 7-3.
Okay, and the second thing is about Luther Burden. I know he had that big play in the fourth quarter, the 27-yard reception. Can he be, or do you kind of see him as kind of a secret weapon that defenses may not have a lot of tape on him, and as he gets more acclimated to playing in the NFL, you can utilize him more?
Yeah, no, I think you've slowly seen his rep count go up. He's a guy that's starting to get more targets. It's a trust level between the coaches and the player. It's a trust level between the quarterback and a receiver. It continues to ascend, and so he's been very productive when we've been able to get the ball in his hands, and there's a strong argument that we should get it to him more.
Dan?
Hey, Ben, quick housekeeping question before a meteor one. What happened with Jaquan late first half when he went down and needed to be attended to?
Looked like he tweaked his back a little bit, but sounds like he's good to go.
Okay. Fourth quarter, first touchdown drive got jump started with that extended play, Caleb to Colston down the seam there. That's the play where Darnell stones Brian Burns' spin move. And then what did you see from both Darnell and Colston in completing that play?
Yeah, no, I think Darnell did a heck of a job throughout that game. Really, our entire offensive line did. Those are, I said it early in the week, and I'll say it after the game as well, that you could argue that that's going to be the best defensive front that we'll face all year long. I mean, it's first rounders galore, talented pass rushers galore. They made it a mission to stop our run game. We weren't nearly as efficient running the ball yesterday as we would have liked to be. But in terms of pass protection, you look up and we had 0 sacks. I thought Caleb was certainly a big factor in negating some of those sacks, but our offensive line did a pretty solid job.
I think it's
down
I think it was the
in and
only
down out.
factor
Now, I think
that those
Darnell
sacks got
had a
evaded.
couple that he'd like back as well, but overall, I was pretty pleased with his play. I've been very pleased with his play over the course of the season so far. So on that particular play, it's just a great instance of how strong he is as an individual. He caught Burns in a spin and was able to capitalize on it. So that was great. And then Colston, you talk about a heater coming at him. Caleb running to his left and absolutely flings that ball, and Colston was able to haul it in. So, like you said, it's a huge play in the moment, and certainly one that we needed to keep that drive going.
Adam?
Hey, Ben, to build off Dan's question there a little bit, when you have blocks like Darnell's, I think it's been a couple weeks now where he's putting the opposition on the ground, and Theo had his block along the sideline last week. Like, what type of energy do those blocks kind of provide you and the team behind the scenes when you show them and you discuss them?
Yeah, I think our guys appreciate it. I think offensive line play in general, it tends to get overlooked. You got a lot of ball watchers around this league as fans, or even as coaches and personnel guys. You tend to overlook the trench play at times, and so we certainly have a great appreciation for what those guys bring to the table. We've invested a lot from a draft capital and a free agency standpoint of bringing those guys in. We value those guys tremendously, and so it's good to see that pay off for us. They're a huge part of what we do. Our offense doesn't really go unless they're functioning at a high level, and so we're really happy with where they are. I was proud to show a few clips last week of them in the running game, getting after it, finishing. I think what gets me fired up more than anything, I think of our first touchdown of the game yesterday, where when you hit pause, you have all these blue jerseys in the same frame, and we're all pushing the same direction. That to me is inspiring football.
Jason?
Hey, Ben, 2 questions for you. The first is a big picture question. When you think about the vision that you had for this team and how you wanted it to look and operate, what are some things you're seeing that match up with that halfway through your first season that you say, this looks like my blueprint? And what are some things that you still want to see some growth in?
Well, I think the easy answer for that is we want a team that will fight all 60 minutes. It's a group that believes in what we're doing as a coaching staff. They believe in what we have in the locker room. And that belief comes through each and every week right now. They understand that we're always in these games. And so we have a very resilient group. I think that's step number one. And then where we got to get better, and I alluded to it last night, is we got to start taking control of these games a little bit more. We got to play cleaner football, which I thought in some aspects we did. We were much better in the penalty department yesterday. We were much better red zone offense, red zone defense yesterday. But yet we take a step back in terms of catching the football. We take a step back in terms of converting on critical downs, things of that nature. And so we still haven't put that whole collective 60 minutes, 3 phases together yet. Yet we've seen glimpses of it throughout the season so far. And so I'm happy with the fact that we're winning games and we're finding a way to win games, and the guys are believing in what we're doing. And yet we still have so far that we can still go, and how much we can still accomplish as a whole team.
I'm glad that he agrees with us that you still have yet to see a complete game, all 3 phases. But again, critical of Ben Johnson yesterday. Yes, but do I have faith? Am I abandoning ship? No, not a chance. Not a chance. This guy's got this team believing. He's got them winning is the most important thing. So I'm allotting him the benefit of the doubt right now. But again, things are happening a lot quicker than I anticipated, was as far as the progression of this team mainly on offense, but as far as the locker room, as far as the culture, that has been extremely impressive. Extremely impressive. So that with that brings trust, and I trust that he can be the guy that gets this thing right, that gets us to where we want to be.
My other question is about your play calling. This is multiple times this season where you have volunteered that you think your play calling should have been better in a game, including earlier in this call. How are you grading yourself in that area, and why do you think it is important to be transparent about that? That you feel like your play calling could have been better in some situations?
Well, no, it's the first thing you look at when things aren't clicking and you don't feel like you're in a rhythm as an offense. And so I always look in the mirror. What could I, do a little bit better there? I didn't love our third down plan when I go back and I looked at it. I thought they did a really nice job defending us, and we didn't do enough to counter that, and that's on me. I got to do a better job of that. I know why I did everything in the moment, why I call things. Everything has a reason, and yet when it doesn't click the way we want it to, then I just question whether I should have done something or done something else. And so, end of the day, we're all in it together. I want those guys to understand that I take a lot of ownership in what we put on tape, as do they. And so, it's really important that they understand we're all in the same boat.
Kevin?
Hey, Ben, you talked last night about the drops, that you didn't see them in practice. And I'm just curious, from a coaching perspective, as you enter this week, how do you handle some of those drops in terms of addressing it, not addressing it, extra practice with the judge machine, whatever it is? Like, what's your kind of strategy after a game like that? Yeah,
my strategy is, like anything, you talk about it and then you move on. You learn from it, you move on. When my experience, and I've coached quarterbacks, I've coached receivers, I've coached tight ends on the offensive side, and you can make things worse by going overboard on some of this stuff, and that's not the intent. All those guys, they want to catch the football when it comes their way, and we acknowledge the fact that, hey, there's a few of those that we could have hauled in. We need to do that. Turn the page. Let's keep it moving. And so we're gonna be just fine.
And one quick one, Pat asked you about the fourth down calls. Just curious, in the first half, want to know a little about your decision making with the weather, the distances, they're fourth and manageable. Just like what was kind of the thought process in terms of going versus kicking in some of those. I think you had two in the first half like that.
Yeah, no, I just I felt like we were on their side of the field, and we really didn't. I think there was one punt I did that I'm like, well, shoot, man, 25-yard punt that landed on the 11-yard line, and felt good about the distances that we had. Wish we would have connected on two more of those. If we go 3 for 4 instead of 1 for 4, I think we feel a lot better about how that game plays out. But yeah, certainly the weather plays a factor in it. You go through your pregame routine, you get a feel for how comfortable you are with the wind and things of that nature. And so that all plays a part in it.
Last question, Herb.
Coach, you kind of alluded to this in your answer to Jason a bit ago, but in your mind, and even in your message to the team, how do you kind of balance the idea of appreciating and enjoying your team's ability to be resilient and pull out some of these games late, with the thought that some of these contending teams with these games coming up may require a more complete 4-quarter performance?
I think it's the best thing about us winning right now is we can come back and we can coach them hard, and we'll tell them the truth, and they know it. I mean, they're professionals. They all know that that we're winning, but yet this isn't necessarily the style or the fashion that we want to hang our hat on long term. And so, I think we're in a really good spot with our locker room right now. Our coaching staff is doing a tremendous job. I think I got a lot of confidence on really all 3 phases and how we're coaching the game right now. And it's games like this that you can come in the next day or on Wednesday and coach them, and be really truthful with what you're seeing and what we need to improve on.
All right. Well, that was Ben. Blew up here. That was Ben Johnson, head coach of the Chicago Bears. Yeah, Herb's last question. I feel like he already had answered that a few times already. He understands that there needs to be adjustments. There needs to be corrections. You know, but you're finding a way to win these football games, and that's something that you have to give credit to not only him, but you got to give credit to the players. Like they're finding the way, right? You ask them that, people ask the question, how do you learn how to win? Well, by winning. And right now they're winning in dramatic fashion, but they're winning tough games that maybe more or less they could have put away. Regardless of that, they're found themselves in tough positions and found ways to get out of those positions, and that's how you learn how to win. If that makes any sense, it made sense in my head, but I don't know if it came out as poetic as I thought. But winning ugly, winning close, winning. That's how you learn how to win. And it's great to see that this Bears team, with all its deficiencies, all its flaws, is finding a way to win. Now, can we take it to another level? Again, I truly believe for this team to hit on all cylinders the way we all want, you're gonna have to add, and it's probably gonna take another offseason. But as right here, right now, we're talking about this football team. Yeah, the goal is to fight. The goal is to, claw your way into the playoffs some way, somehow. Be involved, be a part of the hunt, be a part of the conversation. Get these young players a taste of winning. Get these young players a taste of the playoffs. Because once you get a little bit of taste, you want more. You want to be there. You want to perform. You want to be your best in those moments come playoff time. If you don't, then I mean, you shouldn't be on the field, But I believe him. I believe that he knows, and the players know, that it might not be good enough, but finding a way to win isn't wrong. So I will leave it at that. Looking forward to Minnesota. Must win, obviously. Must win, but you got a little bit of a revenge factor, I feel like, involved in this. I feel like that bad taste of game one and the way JJ McCarthy, or fucking 9, as he wants to call himself, fucking little kid, his alter ego, 9 on the football field, went ahead and did some things. He went ahead and did some things that first game. So defense, you better be fucking on fire. You better be on fire, because of everything that went wrong that game in game one. 21 points in the fourth quarter is unacceptable. Find a way to win. Find a way to get to McCarthy. You had a pick 6 in game one. You held him in check for a while there. This time, I feel like you need to not only set the tone, but send a message. Send a message that you're not just gonna fucking show up in your fucking Superman tighty whities or whatever the fuck it is, 9, and do that shit again. That's what I want to see. Put his ass to bed. But on the defensive side, for the offensive side, you know what Brian Flores does. They know Ben and him know each other. They've played each other back and forth for a long time. I feel like Ben has the upper hand, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Ben has the upper hand. But last game, like that fourth quarter, there was no answer for the Vikings defense with the Bears offense, and that's something that I think will change. It's definitely going to be a lot different. Though this offense is a lot different from game one. The play of the quarterback has been a lot different. The play of the offensive line. So I'm kind of curious as to how that will play out. But my focus this week, like my spotlight, the guys that need to be on it the most is that defense. That defense. You got a quarterback who's inconsistent, and JJ McCarthy. There's question marks about him. He's already hurt multiple times, in his career, and it's only year 2. Let's go ahead and put him to the test, right? Let's have a game for the defense. Hopefully. But I am very optimistic about Sunday. The Bears have every shot in the world to beat this fucking Vikings team who lost against the Baltimore Ravens on Sunday. And I believe they can do it. I believe they can do it. The way that this team is believing, the way that this offense is playing, the play of the quarterback in particular, just outstanding, man. It's about time we had some real hope offensive wise in Chicago. And we can thank Caleb and Ben Johnson for that. And again, if the Bears would have lost that game, Ben had a lot of blame to go around, right? And so did the defense. But we won the game. They still need to be criticized. But again, you got to give them the credit when it's due. And another game, another win. What can you say? So hopefully things get cleaned up. Like Ben said, this team better be ready. This team better be ready. I don't want to see a tale of two halves. You need to be able to put an entire game together. First quarter to fourth quarter, offense, defense, special teams. Yeah, here's another opportunity. Division rival, big game. Keep showing us. Keep proving it. But before we go ahead and take off, I got to give the credit to the Bears social media team or whoever the fuck is putting some of these reels together, because this one, let me see if I could bring it. This one was great. And I don't know if you guys, like, it's like one of those old, like, Buster Keaton, Charlie Chaplin type of clips, but great stuff. Got to give him credit. I liked it. It was funny. I thought it was fantastic the way they did it. Good stuff by the Bears social media team. But that's it for me. Time to go to bed. I wonder if this game's gonna end. Somebody said, 10-0 Philly. Thanks, Kevin. Maybe I could listen on Westwood One on the radio, since I can't get my fucking TV. My Monday Night Football. Thanks, YouTube. Thanks, ESPN. Bastards. All right. That's enough for me. Appreciate you guys. Before we take off, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Become a patron today at www.thetapeneverlies.com. And for me, I am out, and I'll leave you. Yeah, we'll go ahead. We'll leave you with this.